What's going on, friends? Y'all ready for a real-life horror story? Let's get into it. A sci-fi horror bug was discovered on the International Space Station. It's startling to find, straight out of the dark depths of the sci-fi horror, aboard the International Space Station, NASA discovered 13 strains of a superbug, a multi-drug resistant bacterium. Its name, Enterobacter bugandensis, whatever. Anyway, moving on. While that moniker might not roll off the tongue, the bug is no joke. Having mutated into the extraordinary and extraordinary isolated environment of outer space, the microscopic oddity is thus genetically distinct enough from its terrestrial counterparts to develop resistance to drugs. In other words, the megabug's existence and incredible resistance to earthly medicine pose a stark health risk to astronauts. Please don't bring that thing down to Earth. Dear God. IIT Madras and NASA collaborated on a study which detailed the prevalence, distribution, colonization patterns, and adaptations of Superbug E. Oh, look, how cute. Women's clone. Straight out of a sci-fi horror flick. Lurking aboard the ISS like some antagonist in a John Carpenter flick, or the Hunter-Seeker Robo-Wasp in Dune Part 1, the space microbe flourished deeply embedded and largely unadulterated systems for uninterrupted growth. Iron acquisition, along with interactions with other organisms, spurred the development of its particular resilience. Scientists discovered that several remarkable genomic nuances and feats of antimicrobial residence lend the strains their superbug ability. On a whole, the adaptations the bug picked up outside our atmosphere diverge hugely from those found in terrestrial strains. Intimidating adaptations. On full display and of particular interest in the bacterium's superb knack for withstanding the inhospitable realities of space, the resilience spawns from an intricate web of interactions between the megabug and other microorganisms, as the ISS carries an abundance of other microbial stowaways. Not only does the space bug diverge from the otherwise benign growth dynamics of microbes aboard the station, it also spells out prospective health risks, particularly to astronauts' respiratory systems. Some of the oldest known inhabitants of our planet, microorganisms or microbes, like the superbug, adapt constantly to survive the harshest conditions, including microgravity. In space, microbes like evilinc have no choice but to undergo genomic changes. It's either that or perish. You either evolve or die. Once accomplishing these genetic transformations, the bug emerges genetically unique, categorically separate from any distant counterparts on our pale blue dot. Astronaut immunity is a concern. In addition to the superbug, the ISS hosts a wide array of significant microbes, including bacterial and fungal phyla, according survivability through their extreme flexibility. With microorganisms like the superbug on the ISS reinventing themselves, so to speak, to preserve their developed subsequent resistance to antibiotics is all but certain. Understandably, to mitigate these risks, NASA aims to continue ongoing studies and conduct new inquiries, especially directed at Superbug E. A particular concern is that astronauts suffer from weakened immune systems while at ISS. The discovered megabug could essentially assail astronauts in a state, potentially sickening them in a less than ideal environment. Obviously, the limited access to medical facilities in space adds to the difficulty. Earthbound health risks. The presence of hardy bacterium poses a legitimate risk to health and safety of those aboard the ISS, and it's not difficult to imagine the danger, however fanciful, of a disease born of the superbug making its way to Earth. The research of the superbug was conducted by Dr. Katsuri Venkateswaran of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. A joint team from JPL and ITT Madras contribute efforts as well. So, We got a new super bug. Man, we got a new super bug before GTA 6 dropped. What's up? Alright, I'll catch y'all later. Be safe, be healthy. Ah!